Page verse 1. As we begin our Lenten journey, the church presents to us two different accounts of temptation. The first account, taken from the book of Genesis, indeed was the first human experience of temptation, the temptation of Adam and Eve, how Eve was tempted by the devil, and she fell, and she was defeated. And then the other account given in the gospel by Matthew in his account, telling us also how the devil led Jesus, how the devil tempted Jesus Christ in the wilderness for good 3 times, using different strategies. After fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. Indeed, reading the temptation account of Jesus Christ, it is quite interesting. It is interesting because the devil knew that Jesus Christ was and still the Son of God. And yet, he had the courage to confront him with temptation. He had the courage to go and test him. Maybe he was convinced that employing certain strategies, he would defeat Jesus Christ. Even the fact that Jesus Christ had divinity in him couldn't scare him away. It tells you how courageous the devil is. And also the universality of this experience, that no one is immune from temptation, no one is actually exempt, no one is above it. It is part of our human experience. And morally speaking, temptation is not a sin. Rather, even it presents a platform for us to do good, to witness for Christ. Now, looking at the temptation of Jesus Christ and how he won, and then the temptation experience of the woman in the first reading in the book of Genesis, Eve, we ask ourselves, my own temptation experience, how is it like? How often am I defeated? How often do I win? How can I narrate my own experience? Where does it come from? What indeed tempts me the most? In my journey of life, in my journey of faith, where do I normally fall short of the grace? Where do I normally lose God? So, we know that for us to win temptation, we need to rely on the grace of God. Yeah, that is spiritual. But also, let us ask ourselves, how can I manage my everyday temptation? Number one, I need to itemize it. So how can I manage it? Relying on the grace of God, I said, is fundamental. But let's leave that aside and see how, humanly speaking, we can actually manage our various temptation or the strategies employed by the Satan to tempt us. Number one, we need to understand the condition, our conditions. There are certain conditions actually that exposes us or that expose us to temptation, that make it easier for us to be tempted by the devil. There are certain conditions that put us at risk of being tempted. Looking at the example of Eve, her experience. She was lonely. She was idle. She was not doing anything. According to biblical scholars, Adam was more or less in the garden, maybe busy. But the fact that Eve was there, idle, doing nothing, she became more vulnerable to temptation. Think about it. Most of the times when you are idle, certain things begin to flash into your minds. Some stupid thoughts, some stupid plans, some foolish ideas. You begin to battle with them. Not just when you are idle physically, especially also when your mind, my mind is not engaged with anything. Satan will supply me with plans, with ideas, with thoughts, with fantasies. Sometimes we are more vulnerable when we are idle, when we are alone. When, in the case of Jesus Christ, his condition was that he was hungry. So having fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. Humanly speaking, anything, food could go at that time, from anyone, from anywhere. And that was why the first temptation was turning the stone into bread. And the Bible said it, that he was very hungry, so the Satan came and made use of that opportunity, of that condition of his. So for us, we need to look at that there are certain conditions actually that will expose us, that will put us more at risk that will make us more vulnerable to be tempted by the devil? We need to find out. Mine may be different. It could be when I'm lonely in that big house. It could be when I'm weak. It could be when I am not doing anything. So my own condition could be different. Some could be stronger when they're alone. But maybe when I'm alone, I have reason to go to certain sites in the internet. So find out, as I find out, what condition exposes me or exposes me to being tempted all the more. Number two, it could be places. Indeed, there are places we go. They are not bad places. But there could be places we go, we become weak, that we may not be able to resist whatever is presented there or whatever challenge we encounter there. You have made a decision, for example, not to take beer during this Lent. But often on, your friends will invite you to pub. You say yourself, okay, when I go, I will take tea there. Are you able to resist taking beer when you go to pub at that time? It has become that going to pub at that time, because of your own personal resolution, has become a very tempting place for you. Therefore, what do? You need to look at the places that expose you or to make it easier for you to be tempted. As I say, it could also be even in my own room. When I go into my room at a certain time, which I shouldn't be there, I should be in the office, I may begin to look at what to do, because at that time, that place has become for me a place of temptation. So it's not necessarily that such places are bad. It could be that maybe out of our own resolutions, out of our own decisions, or the place is not very good for our ideal. So number two, we need to look at certain places that make it easier for us to be tempted by the devil. And finally, people. There are people actually in our lives. They could be our friends, family members, our colleagues in the office. Our relationship and association with them has become so good and so nice, and that we don't remember anything again when we are with them. We lose guard and talk as if there is nothing. This guy is not bad. But just when I'm with you, I don't care about anything again, because we have gone a long way. I give you an example. When I was away in Nigeria for Christmas in January, my birthday was on 14th. And this great friend of mine, we have gone a long way, a priest. He wanted to take me out on the 15th of January. It was on 14th I was occupied with family. So he has said to me, Nathaniel, get ready, on 15th we are going out. And I know very well that he drinks so well. He drinks a lot. He could finish 3 or 4 bottles of wine and still be alert and conscious and be doing his things. But I can't even take more than 1 or 2 glasses of wine and still be normal. And by that time, I had taken a lot of wine. So my head was already giving me a signal and telling me you need to stop now. So I know at that time, he has a good will, he has a wonderful plan to take me out and then to spoil me, to celebrate my birthday for me. But at that moment, I need to be careful with him. Because going for that dinner, going for that birthday celebration will put me at risk. Certainly, I don't think I can resist the temptation of eating with him without taking any wine. I don't think I can resist his persuasive nature, because he's quite persuasive. He could bring a particular one and tell me, the name is Malot. And I tell you, if you test this one, it is better than anyone you have taken since we are born. Can I withstand his persuasion and his preaching at this time? So what did I do on 15th? I switched on my phone. I had to, because saying no to him would hurt him. I know him. And myself going for that birthday celebration will hurt my health. So I said, there is no way I can escape this but to keep away. And the best way to keep away is to put my phone on a flight mode all through the day. And the next day when we saw, guy, I have been calling you, what happened? Sorry. Because mistakenly, I didn't know I switched off. I had to a little bit say this. Then later I told him, man, my health is not good at this time. So don't talk about going out with you, because I can't stand drinking even a glass of wine at this time. So there are friends in our lives that actually they are good to us. We are going the wrong way. But because of maybe personal objectives set in life or goals set in life, personal virtues, personal decisions, we need to also be careful of being put at risk, of being tempted, of making ourselves more vulnerable. I give you what have just happened at the convent this morning. After the mass, after this kind of preaching, we went to have tea and coffee. And one person celebrated her birthday a week ago, but he wasn't there at the convent last weekend. So we decided to make a birthday celebration for her today. So after praying, they brought a cake and we sang and danced for her. And then they made a cake. I tell you, this is your own. And I know I don't take cake, more or less. So I said, no. But the person who was sharing the cake, what, just a bite? I said, no. Taste it. It is homemade. No. It is pineapple. No. But that wasn't enough to stop her from persuading me. Didn't know what I said. I said, okay, give me the cake, give me my portion. I'll go home with it. When I get to, I know some people are coming to see me today and they have children. So at least I'll give the cake to them. That's how I run away. So there are people in our lives. They are good. But sometimes we need to be careful because of our own personal decisions, goals, and ideas. Staying around sometime with them could put us at risk. So dear friends, as we begin our journey of Lent, let us be careful of conditions that expose us to temptation, places that make it easier for us to be tempted, and people who facilitate without knowing that they are doing so, that facilitate our being tempted. Finally, I've been looking around, so I can see it. When you look around in this church, you will see a few cobwebs, you know. Some of them are older than myself. So, when you look around, you see a few cobwebs. If you want to take care of this cobweb, what do? Normally, you get a broom, and then you wipe through and take care of them and sweep them, and it becomes neat. But watch it. A week or two after, the cobweb will come back. Why? Because the spider wasn't taken care of. So if you want to take care of the cobwebs, find the spider where it is. Eliminate it. And once you eliminate the spider, you can take care of the cobweb. So if you really want to take care of what is happening in your life, of the challenges we encounter, of our temptation, find the origin. Find the spider where it is. It could be conditions. It could be places. It could also be persons. It could be me tempting you. So be careful. The Lord defeated Satan. And we took and let him do this.